It's Sunday afternoon. I am committing to doing a Google Hangout once a day. I'll be happy if it's 4 times a week, but I did one yesterday. I think I did one the day before. I'm doing one today, and today I'm going to discuss buying a home in Poway, California. Now I know this is all of the web all the time, but I did about a year ago. I'm also a realtor and attorney, and I've noticed some things that. About Poway, about buying a home that I'd just like to share. Maybe we can help you out. The first thing I would talk about is home search. Now, I wouldn't go to the big portals because some of them have stale data. They don't necessarily get, not necessarily, some don't. They don't get the fresh, they're not updated MLS data. They take tax data and records and other things. They mix them in. It's stale. As a broker, at one point, I had 40 listings. I still have usually between 2 and 10. And I would get calls from people about houses that had been marked contingent or sold 3, 4, 5 days earlier, certainly 2 days earlier, all the time. And so that's a concern. Why waste your time? And secondly, yeah, it's some of those little cool gadgets and tools. And I do like price per square foot, but when you're going to get into home looking and you're going to do it every day, soon you're going to know what the price per square foot is. You're going to get a sense. You're narrowing down areas, and I think the most important thing is you want pictures, you want data, and you want it quickly in an organized fashion. We've already broken that down for you on our website. It used to be San Diego HR.me. It's now called CalLaw Realty, CALAW Realty. I'm going to discuss with you first how I narrow down the homes, and then secondly, I'm going to go over some of the things I've learned about the buying process, about the loan process that I think everyone might want to consider when they're buying a home. But first, you're probably already zeroing in on Poway. I could say San Diego, and we'll do videos on San Diego. And there'll be different considerations. You're probably going to need to focus on your search. Sometimes when you're already looking in Carlsbad's so big, you're going to want to go neighborhood by neighborhood. Poway's a little bit different. I think eventually you will know neighborhood by neighborhood, but there are in each price range, there's only so many homes available at any particular time in Poway. So the first thing I would do is I'd come to my website here at let me actually, I need to bring that up now. We're going to switch over to my website once I pick the right button here. It's been a few days since I tried to screen share. Here we go. And I'm going to pick the basic one right here. And here it is. It's not sharing quite as nicely as I'd like, but let's see if I can move it around. Yeah, we're going to go to Poway. So we're at CALAWREALTY.com, and we're going to go over to Poway. And inside Poway, you're going to see we've broken it down to the neighborhoods. We've broken it down by price range too. Now, I might start with my price range because it's no good looking at Madeiras if you don't have that kind of money. So you might want to look at, say, let's just randomly pick $700,000 to $800,000. So we've got all the properties lined up from high to low, but you can line them up from low to high. And then I would probably go high to low though, because that's what I'm used to looking at. And then I look at, you can look at the square feet and you get an idea of, this one versus this one. There's approximately 200, 300 square feet more. So you're already getting a feel for square foot. So here is a larger house with a nice backyard with nice pictures that might be enticing to you as a place to start clicking and looking. We've got pools. So, we're starting to see some pretty nice houses, 2,400 square feet. You're getting a feel for the price range. Like this one, you're noticing a little lower price, a little smaller square footage. And then here we've got 3,100 and one of the lower prices and a picture of the pool instead of the house. So I'm beginning to think that might need a little work, but that's not a bad thing. And if you're the type of person that is comfortable with that, waiting to move in, things like that, or when I bought my house, my home needed work. I have some laborers and guys who can make your house beautiful or do it cheap. I opted for cheap and pretty good, but we know all sorts of people. But then the next thing I do is I would take a look. Okay, I messed that up. So let me go back a page. I want to go back to the original. Let me go back to Poway. We'll go 700, 800. And now we're going to get a feel for neighborhoods. Now, this one's going to be sort of spread out all over Poway. So if I'm in this price range and I'm looking at Poway, I'm actually going to learn the difference between sort of northern Poway and southern Poway when you're going out east, when you're closer to the freeway, and my access points. Because here, in this price range, you can find them all over, and you're going to have to figure things out. Whereas if you go to, let's go back. If we go to the lower pricing, we'll just start, we'll click Poway. We'll go back to, let's go 500 to 600. I think we're going to see more of a cluster, I suspect. Just in the past, I would have expected that. Well, yeah, there was a cluster. Okay, so sort of right, sort of wrong. But the point is, you're going to get an idea of the areas that you should be looking in and then comparing and contrasting. So that's the first thing I do. You narrow down your cities, you narrow down your price ranges, then you narrow down your areas. So it might be by schools, it might be by proximity to your office or the commute. It might be by views. I mean, some areas are going to be in flatter areas. Some areas might be in areas that have more hillsides. It might be proximity to the high school, golf courses, elementary schools, downtown Poway. I think the commute would be a factor for some people. So I think that's how you're going to compare the areas and the houses. Now, well, I'm not going to say it's a mistake, but in general, you're going to have some selection. I think you want to narrow down your parts of Poway. Now, getting to our transition to what I've learned about buying a home in Poway. First of all, everybody out here, not everybody, but most people out here seem to love it out here. And a lot of people in Poway have, I'm going to move this closer. Hopefully it wasn't too far away. A lot of people in Poway have been here their whole lives. I mean, my son's high school biology teacher has been teaching there 40 or 50 years. So when I meet other parents at my son's sports games, we start talking, and I don't know, maybe they'll ask why wasn't my son on the team last year, in the league last year, and I'll say, oh, we just moved here a year ago. And I'm like, yeah, and a conversation come up, and it seems like a third of the time someone will say, well, I grew up here, and they all know one of my son's high school teachers because they had that biology teacher for their high school teacher. It's just amazing how many people love Poway. One of the people that who's a waitress where we eat a lot over at Stone Ridge, and she's a part-time teacher hoping to become a full-time teacher in Poway. She's been offered jobs at other places, but wants to teach in Poway. Poway has that sort of pull on people. We've been in Carlsbad School District. We've been in Solana Beach, and Solana Beach school district is awesome. But you can't go wrong with Poway School District. They have money, they have facilities, they have good teachers, they have dedicated teachers. You've got golf out in Poway. You've got downtown Poway, which is interesting on the weekends with the markets and other things. And it's just a tremendous community feel in San Diego, which is not impossible to find, but it's good to find. Let's put it that way. Secondly, financing. Financing programs are right now, it's the spring of 2015. Interest rates are historically low. We bought our home a year ago. I've already refinanced down significantly. I saved, I think it was close to half a point. And the rates are low. And of course, I'm thinking, wow, they can't go much lower than this, but you never know. They could. But the point is, rates are low, and the lenders out there are competing. Now, what I've learned about lenders, when you're buying a home, especially if you work for yourself or in a business, you're going to want to work with someone who's going to be spending some time with you, helping you gathering all the materials and getting it past the people who are reviewing your loans. It's underwriting or whatever they want to call it. So you sometimes need to know what companies you're going to pick and go with if you're going to do that. And then there's also some lenders that are going to be, perhaps they're going to be an eighth lower than the full service places. And if you've got all your ducks in a row, you don't need a lot of hand holding. I just did a refi. When I purchased the home, I went with hand holding. A person we worked before, personal guy, and my rate was probably up a 16th or an eighth. And he's a friend, but they just have that internal cost structure. But they're also guaranteed almost, when they say they're going to close, they get it done on time. That's what escrow people told me, that his company is one of the best. So I went with that. Now, When I'm refining, I gave him a shot to refi. He didn't want to, and I already had almost all my materials together. I just had to update some things. And I went ahead and shot him over to one of these, national lenders that promises a great rate, and they succeeded. They got my rate down. In fact, they closed it. It was an eighth lower than what they promised. So there's opportunities there. So you're going to want to talk to someone who has some experience doing it, or you may want to do the work yourself. But I think you should compare and contrast the cut rate kind of guys who really go bare bones, maybe only mark it up $1,000 or $1,200 versus the guys where you actually work with a mortgage guy and his team to get your loan done. Different people are going to be in different boats, different ways to get it done. Finally, also, a lot of people in Poway are going to be professionals. And I explored this option. I had a video on this just a day or two ago. There are loans where people specialize in loans for doctors. In fact, one of the agents in my office, that's a lot of what his business is. He works with doctors, newer doctors who have potential income but might not have, or have the income now but don't have the down payments. And banks want to do portfolio loans for doctors. So there's tremendous programs where doctors might have to only put 5% down. Those programs are available for lawyers. I filled out the paperwork, talked to the people, but wound up, I was able to get a better rate on my own by an eighth, and I went for it. But I was still amazed. And also I wound up buying a home that was significantly within my price range. I could have spent another $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 that I would have been approved for, but I wound up buying one in my price range, so I didn't really need that 5% down or the big extension of the program. I wound up putting 18% down. Now, there's also accountants, and there are other loan programs for people that in different professions and different walks of life. There's a lot of loans out there, and you want to line those up so that when you make offers on some of these homes, because they're competing. Everybody on the net, maybe their data's a little stale, but they're competing. And if a home's been out there for a while, well, actually, here's what I'm trying to say. When a new home comes that's well priced on the market or has nice amenities or it's where everybody wants to, there's still competition for that home. If there may be multiple offers, you're going to want to be able to beat those offers out, and by presenting a really strong package. And if you're working with a group that knows what they're doing, it's going to really help. So I suggest whether you work at my brokerage, because I'm also a lawyer, so I'm putting this out there as the general legal advice, which I sort of have to put the legal interest first over my business license, because in the end, it's the law license that took me a lot more time to get. So, we've got to give you full information. And whether it's you work with us or other people, I think you want to work with people who can put you in touch with great service providers, some experienced people that have sold some houses, that know the area that they're talking about. So once again, I would go, to start, I would go over here to Cal Law Realty. I might start on the home page and click over to Poway. And you'll see on the Poway home, let me scroll down on it. We'll see that I've got them all lined up here. Just click here on that button and you'll see all the homes for sale in Poway. Or you can break it down by neighborhood. You can break it down by lifestyle. You can break it down by prices. And I think what I'm saying here is that this is a data feed right from our MLS. This is the most recent data. This is, you're not messing around. You're not going to be disappointed when you see this. But I'll even give you one caveat. However, if you are buying right away and you're buying in a competitive price range in a competitive area of town, I think you definitely want to talk to me. You want to give me a call, send me an email, because we're aware of ways. Well, one thing I would do is I'd probably put you on my direct broker feed. I either review it myself, so I'm alerted and I have your phone number and I can call you, or we shoot it right over to you. Because this is going to group. You can come to the website. It's going to be updated very quickly. I've noticed that it changes during the day. But it's going to group your emails once a day. So you're going to get the new listings once a day. Whereas I can put you on a data feed where you'll get the new listings within really 15 minutes of when the listing agent inserts them. No one else gets them faster. I checked. So on our broker feed, no one's going to get these any faster. Maybe equivalently as fast, but no one faster. So if you're in a competitive situation, call me. I'll get you on that broker feed, or I'll monitor that that feed for yourself. But otherwise, I just, Cal Law Realty, I I paid a lot of different vendors over time. I even came back to this vendor after going with the new one with all the bells and whistles, because the bells and whistles created problems. This is straight up fast data, nice presentation, and you're going to know what you're doing. You're going to feel like you know what you're doing, and you can also get updates right out of it. The presentation is great. I think it's organized. We've got, you can get all the pictures, you get the prices, you get the information. Contact us. How much is your home worth? It's there. It's just not. It's not glitchy, and it's fast. Once again, John McConnon, Poway Homes for Sale. Thanks. California Lawyers Realty, CALAW Realty.com.